Our resident financial advisor is back. Woo! So today we want to delve into retirement, the details of it. So I'll first let her introduce herself. Karibu.
Thank you. My name is Mido Phyllis. I have been here before. I'm happy, excited to be here to see what today has in store for us.
Yes. So what comes to mind when it comes to retirement is I feel like I'll get to that age and then I'll have a lot of money in the bank and I'll fly the world and just travel and spend money. That is what comes to mind. What's the reality of retirement?
Great. So, not to dim your shine, hope is not a strategy. So it's great that we are thinking of retirement. It's a reality. As long as we are looking forward to getting old, we will not be as active as we are right now. A time will come, we will get to retirement. So how does retirement look like? It looks like a period not far from COVID, the experience we all had. You're not going to work, right? You are not, you cannot be employed because you're past the age of somebody who can be employed.
Yeah.
So it is a stage in our life that we literally need to think a lot about it, especially when we are young. Yeah. So as we begin this session, one thing I want us to envision, how does retirement looks for you? Yeah, for you to get a small preview, like I have said, think of how COVID looked like. You're not going anywhere. You are not having a lot of things to do. So whatever we are investing in right now, be it in friends, be it in family, be it in activities, in terms of hobbies, at that time we'll have to take them seriously. Activities like what we usually say, traveling. Yeah, you've got to have money to travel.
Yes.
Yeah, you've got to have money to travel. If you're thinking into farming, you need to start looking at pieces of land as early as now. Where do you envision to retire? If you want to retire at the slopes of Mount Kenya, how much are they selling their land there? If you're envisioning retiring at the coast, start looking for land there as early as now. If you're thinking of traveling, do you have a vision board? Do you have places you'd want to visit? Do you know what are the requirements? What are the charges for those places? And then factor in inflation. Of course, it will really be it will come in very handy in terms of the money you will set aside on a monthly basis that will now keep increasing as you head towards that age.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't really thought about the places I'd like to visit then. And wow. Okay. In terms of expenses, how does retirement look like? What sort of expenses would I be having when I retire?
Yeah. So from my experience, retirement is an expensive age. Very expensive.
Oh, wow.
Yes, very expensive. One, you might look at it from the perspective that your children have all gone to begin their lives. So you are either there by yourself, or you're there with mama, or you're there with your husband. Retirement is expensive in several ways. One, you cannot afford to not have a medical insurance. And the older you get, the more expensive it is.
Okay.
Yeah, to get a medical cover. The next thing, I spoke about hobbies. At this age, you want to get involved into hobbies that your peers are into. Yeah, let's say you're looking into joining a club. Could be a golf club, a Rotary club. There is membership, of course. Yeah, there is maintenance fees that you'll keep paying. So of course, it's going to be it's an expensive affair. You also require cash at the point of retirement. Why? The kind of diet that you have while you are aged is not what you used to have while you were young. Now your meal consists of a fully balanced diet. you require vitamins, you require fruits, you require carbohydrates, and it's just not the normal ones. Even when you're going to the supermarket, full grain rice,
Yes,
expensive. The brown rice, it's expensive. These other carbohydrates, sweet potatoes, let's speak of ndoma, they're not cheap meals. Yeah, yes, you're being advised as you grow older, try and avoid red meat, so you're into white meat, fish and chicken. They don't come cheap.
Yeah.
They don't come cheap. Yeah, and these are meals that you require to incorporate in your day-to-day meals. Yes, so it's quite an expensive period of your life.
Wow.
Yes.
Now I want to start on my retirement planning.
Yeah.
What's the process? Where do I start from?
Okay. So the good thing about it is retirement. You should start early. Now the process entails of one, you envision how much do you want to retire with. Early retirement in this country is 50 years. Normal retirement is 60 years. Retirement age that you are not supposed to be taxed, and I will break it down as we continue, is 65 years. So you've got to ask yourself, at what age realistically are you looking into exiting active workforce? So once you figure that out, minus it from your current age.
Okay.
Yeah, then ask yourself, if it is a 20-year program, how much money do you want to have at the end of the 20 years period? Whichever figure you come up with, ensure most retirement schemes, they earn an interest. So ensure first and foremost that retirement scheme, it's not deducting you charges, because when it comes to retirement schemes, there are companies that charge you administration fees, RBA levies, management fees, trustees fees. So ensure the scheme you're getting into, those charges are waived, and also ensure the interest rate that they are giving you is net, so that you are able to get a clear picture of how much money you're going to get at the point of retirement, and ensure the interest earned is over and above the current country's inflation rate. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you've mentioned about these schemes. So which schemes can one use?
Okay. So most insurance company in this country are licensed pension providers.
Okay.
Yes, most of them. We also have the government one, the National Social Security Fund, but also most insurance companies are licensed to carry out pension funds. So it is you to decide. Preferably if you're planning as an individual, opening an individual pension plan account is highly advised. If you're working with an employer who is scouting for a pension scheme for their employees, an umbrella fund is advised. For one reason, most companies do not charge umbrella schemes.
Okay.
Yes, do not charge umbrella schemes. So it will also be informed as you begin this retirement planning journey. Are you doing it as an individual, or are you doing it as an organization? So you can as well even have 2, even up to 10 pension funds.
Really?
Yes. So that at the point of retirement, you'll do what we refer to as consolidation. You will have all your funds under one particular account.
All right.
Yes.
This is a video interlude to show you the space I've been shooting from, which is Sifa House. First off, how gorgeous is this place? And it's in a serene environment. It's a 5-bedroom Airbnb with own compound and ample parking space. It's located along Thika Road, Kimbo Ruiru, Kiganjo Road. Now guys, this space is perfect for your bridal pickups, your rural shows, your family long stays, small group events, and content creation like your podcast, YouTube, photo shoots. Now the only thing standing between you and this hidden gem is making that call and booking this space. So what are you waiting for? Make that call.
If one was to diversify in that way, how would you, what, like, for example, you say this one scheme, is it like you diversify in terms of the amount you're putting and the benefits you're getting out of that scheme? How do you decide to diversify?
How do you decide to diversify? If you are an individual, then opening one pension plan, individual pension plan account is advised. But then we have other situation or other circumstances where you are an employee and your employer is the one who makes the decision of which company they are going to invest the staff's pension funds. So why I'm speaking about you getting another one, you can have one with your employer with a particular company, and then you can have one for yourself, so that at any one point you would ever change jobs, you will move your pension from your employer's account to your individual account. And it's important for me to mention, transfers are free. Yes, transfers are free. So you're not going to be charged anything moving your funds from one scheme to another.
Even if it's maybe different insurance companies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned about the, I want to really break down the math of it.
Yeah.
You mentioned, first of all, you have to decide what age you want to retire. So that is very crucial.
Yeah.
Say right now, let's give a number. Someone is 30 right now. They want to retire at 50. So, and they've put 20 million.
Yeah.
For it, at the point where they turn 50, they want 20 million. How can one now break that down and find out how much should I be putting aside to be able to get this 20 million?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we usually have a financial calculator that's able to work backwards, so that I'm able to advise you and tell you how much money you can be putting aside for you to realize your 20 million pension kitty. So I will leave my contacts for somebody who is interested. So we are able to generate a quote using the current interest rates that we generate from our organization. Then we can advise.
So it's very individualized.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Is there a difference when it comes to retirement planning? Is there a difference, or rather, does what you do now affect the kind of retirement planning or the process you're supposed to take?
Most definitely. Under retirement planning products, we have two types. We have a provident fund and a pension fund. So a provident fund, you get a lump sum of what you had contributed plus interest. Under a pension fund, you are only allowed to access a third of your funds, then the remaining 2/3 you convert it into a monthly income. Now, it's important I mention we are creatures of habit. So if you left university in your 20s and the only thing you have known your entire life till retirement is employment, then a pension fund becomes quite suitable. Why? Because at the point of retirement, you'll have access to a third of your funds as lump sum. Then the other balance is automated to a monthly income. So there are no big changes you're going to experience. This is just some money you will now keep getting on a monthly basis that will keep sustaining you. In the event of your death, your spouse takes over and continues earning what you've been earning till their death. But if you're into business and you have diversified a lot in terms of your income, let's assume you have some rentals here, you have some business there that are generating you a good income, then a provident fund becomes advisable. Why? A provident fund, you'll have the option of accessing the entire amount. Being a person who's been in business and you have been handling lump sum amounts of monies, you are able to, or we are able to advise you how to go about that at the point of retirement. Yes.
You've mentioned if like a business person has some rental income here and there, and that has got me thinking, what role does investment play in retirement?
Okay, so the role it plays is basically the structure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mentioned and said we are pretty much creatures of habit.
Yeah.
So there's a certain schedule yourself and myself are used to. We know from Monday to Friday it's working days. Over the weekends is resting. That is for somebody who is employed. Yeah. So they know that is my structure, and they know at the end of the month, between the 20th or to the latest 28th, there is an income I expect on a monthly basis. So for somebody who has known that kind of a life for 40 plus years, a little a small interference with that could literally mess them up. Because they would wonder, they have been living this kind of life whereby they are earning an income on a monthly basis, and here they are retired, it's not there, and they are looking at a lump sum. And you know, you cannot be retired and you're starting to look into businesses to invest in. Because businesses have a gestation period. That's something business people don't really come out and tell it to us. A business it's literally like a child. It has to be grown, nurtured until it gets to a place where it feeds you. But for a person who is retired, they do not have that period or that time to go through those transitions. So by putting them under a pension fund, it helps them have some income that they will earn on a monthly basis. So for the person who is in business, like I mentioned, who is earning some rental income, by you having that rental income, it means you've been able to diversify in terms of, from the income you're getting on a monthly basis, you're able to invest in other avenues. You've been able to put your funds, maybe let's say you have put some lump sum in money market funds, maybe you've bought government bonds, maybe you've put some funds, you've bought a piece of land somewhere, you're doing farming, maybe you've opened another business. So to you, lump sum income is not something strange. And then we will be able to delve more into retirement income products, that for people who have lump sum, then they have an avenue in which they can now access their funds in that manner.
Okay. So say someone out there, they've reached out, you've done the calculation, you've known how much they're supposed to be getting in terms of their planning. What benefits does one get?
Okay, from retirement planning.
Yes.
All right. So there are several reasons as to why we do retirement planning. One, we are able to save on tax benefits because pension funds are not taxed on contribution, unlike so many other investments. So you're able to save on the tax benefit. The other thing, you're able to get financial independence. You're not going to be a burden to the society at the point of retirement. You're going to have your own income. The other benefit you're going to get is if you're an employee, you're going to benefit from the employer's contribution. So you're not only contributing your bit, but your employer is matching your contribution if there is such kind of an arrangement at your place of work. The other thing, you're going to be inflation protected. Like I mentioned, most companies declare a rate that is over and above the inflation rate. So it's a good avenue of investing. Why? Because for a company that generates an interest that is over and above the current country's inflation rate, it means you're financially protected. Yes, and also it gives the concept of diversification. You're not putting your eggs in one basket. You're saving for retirement, you're having investments here, you're taking you have maybe an insurance for risk protection. So it's a method of diversification. You're not putting your eggs in one basket.
What regulations should one be looking at when they are getting into the retirement planning process?
Okay. Every retirement every pension provider has to be licensed by both Retirement Benefit Authority and Kenya Revenue Authority. For you to know, they are being regulated by these two bodies, so they are following the regulators' guidelines in terms of investments, in terms of how they declare their rates, in terms of how they do their annual general meetings, so that, because this is a long-term process. You're starting to save for retirement and you're at your 30s, so you're going to access your funds. Let's assume you go for normal retirement 60 years. You're going to save for a whole lot of 30 years, so you need to ensure the company you're choosing to invest with is licensed and regulated by both RBA and KRA. Yes.
Okay. So those are things you're supposed to be noting down when you've chosen an insurance company or any other avenue. Check, do your due diligence, ensure that they are regulated and that your money is safe, because you don't want to put money aside and then it disappears out of nowhere.
It's true.
Yeah. So what would your last words be to someone out there who they've been hearing about retirement but putting it off? I'll start. Yeah.
Okay. So for every person listening to me, retirement is a reality. It will happen one day. So start saving for retirement today. Start saving now and start early. Yes.
So start now.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. For those who would like to now do the math properly, you can reach out to our financial advisor in the house and be able to do that mathematics and start your retirement planning now. So
I will leave my contacts with Brenda. She will share them, and feel free to reach out to me for a retirement planning process.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For always taking time, sitting with us and giving us all this information.
You're welcome.
Guys, please start your retirement planning early. I am too. We're starting the committee right now after this. Okay, thank you. Bye.